Conduction of free and fair elections is one of the most challenging and most exciting responsibilities of district collectors, who are also the district election officers. In a democracy such as India, the voting process, the election process involves multiple stakeholders. So we need to reach out to each of these stakeholders, like the voters, who are the public, the political parties, the candidates, the polling officers who conduct the elections at the booth, the security forces who take care of the security measures, and many other counterparts who ensure a free and fair election process is completed. In a Vidhan Sabha, there are nearly 368 booths. So we will be conducting elections with a manpower of nearly 7,000 to 8,000 people, which includes the polling officers, the forces, the health counterparts, and the general administration. And in a by-election, Dumka, we have voters which are around 2,47,000 and still counting. So we need to ensure that those who are not yet in the electoral list, they need to get their names added in the list through Form 6 application, for which sweep activities are carried out in colleges, institutions, training institutions, where 18 plus the youth is motivated to get their name added into the voter list. Apart from this, we also create awareness among people that they vote as per their preferences and without being pressurized, being threatened, or through force of any candidate or any political party. The Election Commission of India has time and again come up with separate guidelines with different mechanisms or tools wherein election malpractices can be registered and action taken on those involved in such malpractices. So last two elections, we've seen digital innovations such as C-Vigil, which is a weapon for the citizens, for the voters, wherein any voter can register a complaint of MCC violation in a matter of few seconds, which will directly reach the district election officer, and such complaints have to be disposed of within 99 minutes. So we have a well-placed mechanism such as flying squads or static surveillance teams, which then go into these areas where the complaint has been registered, and then if it is found to be true, MCC violation act FIRs are registered. If the complaint is found to be false, the case will be dropped. So this is, I think, a major break for the citizens, wherein they can be a part of the free and fair election process. Earlier, they would just come to the booth to vote, but now they have this tool wherein they can themselves monitor on the activities of the political parties and the candidates. So time and again, we create awareness among the public regarding these tools which they can use. Apart from this, we also have the whole process of nomination and the campaigning of the political parties and the candidates. So, which itself is a major responsibility for the district administration and the election officer, because we need to monitor that these campaigns are free, they are fair, there are no malpractices done or hate speeches given in these kind of speeches. There is no malified intention between any of these appeals for vote, and also to see that there is no distribution of money, liquor, or parties, or feasting, and such activities of the political parties also are a major area where the district administration has to keep their whole system in place, that as soon as such complaints arise, immediately the officials rush to the place and ensure that action is taken on such people. So we keep interacting with the candidates, with the political parties regarding these, to share the newer guidelines, the SOPs that keep coming in, We also monitor the expenditure of the party, of the candidate. So there are many, I think, dimensions to the process of election, and we ensure that it is free, fair, but also with a good participation of the public, of the voters. So we've been seeing that there's been a gradual decline in the voting percentage in urban areas, which continues to be a major concern for us as well. And we have seen that there are a few booths in the urban areas which are just about 30% or 40% of voting. So these booths are identified, and we keep interacting with the voters there and motivating them to come out and vote, because there is a lot of effort that goes behind conduction of election, and we don't want these efforts to go waste. And keeping in mind that there is also the option of nota for voters. If they do not want to elect any particular candidate in their constituency, they can always go and vote for the nota. So we want to ensure that the voting percentage is above what the last elections have seen. So what makes this by-election different from the other elections is that not only are we having to ensure a good voting percentage, but post-elections, district administration needs to ensure that there is no spike in the coronavirus patients. So conducting elections during a pandemic is in itself a new agenda, even for the ECI and for the district administration. And we know that the COVID-19 virus spreads through contact and through gathering, through close interactions of humans. And election is one such event where it cannot be conducted without contact or without close interactions. If we talk about a single booth, the EVM in the booth will be touched by thousands of voters of that booth, and the same EVM is then carried back to the strong room by the polling party, and after which it is handled by many other people like the laborers, the parties that are the receiving parties that take in the EVMs. So how do we ensure contactless election? That is something that is not possible. So conduction of election during COVID-19 is quite a challenge, and we have newer guidelines that have come up because of the pandemic. So we have guidelines such as having a special person at the booth who will sanitize the EVM, who will sanitize the hands of the voters whenever they come in to vote. There will be a person who will monitor that there is social distancing among voters maintained at the booth. There will be thermal scanners at the booth, and any person found to be having a higher temperature, he will be made to sit aside, and he will be allowed to vote at the end of the election process, at the end of the poll day in the last hour. And there is also an SOP where corona patients who are positive, they also will be allowed to vote through a postal ballot system. So these are the newer guidelines that have come in, which will be done in the district for the first time. And definitely I think this is where the challenge lies, that we hold an election which is free and fair with the maximum participation of the voters, but at the same time maintain the positivity rate, or rather decline the positivity rate of the district, and see that it does not increase after the election, because we have thousands of people gathering together for training, for collecting of EVMs. So I think district administration is ready to conduct an election keeping in mind the security and the health and safety of not only just the polling party but also the public. So the team is working out on newer solutions. We are first time the ECI has come up with these sector health officers. Usually we only have sector officers who visit the booths and see the condition of the booths and other particulars. But this time we also have sector health officers who will monitor the election process, be it the campaigns or the voting process in the booth, wherein we ensure that contact between people are sanitized and they're not risky to each other. So considering all the efforts that go behind conduction of free and fair elections, I would like to give an appeal to all the voters that they be fearless, they place confidence in us, that we are here to take care of them, to create a risk-free environment of elections especially on the day of poll, which is 3rd November, wherein voters will be given gloves, they will be given masks, and there will also be sanitizers placed at each and every booth, thermal scanners at each and every booth, so that the security and the health of the voter is not compromised. We assure you that this election process of Dumka by election is free and fair, but also healthy. Thank you.